You hear about it all week, especially this time of the year. It's fall, one of my favorite times of the year. You got some baseball playoffs going on, probably, I don't know, maybe week 5 of the football season. There's lots of teams that are vying to be in first place so that they can be the winners. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But what if being first had nothing to do with winning in that traditional sense? What if it meant being the first to help? The first to notice a need, or the first to care?
Welcome to Retirement Unmasked. My name is April, and this is my wonderful husband, Michael. Because sometimes the biggest impact we make in retirement isn't about being first on scene, it's about being first to show up for someone else. So, when we were talking about this topic at dinner tonight, I thought of the Bible verse from Mark 9:35, which rings true about those who always want to be first. Sitting down, Jesus called the 12 disciples and said, "If anyone wants to be first, he must be the very last and the servant of all." That's a direct challenge to the me first mindset
It is.
that occupies society today. We read about it all the time, like road rage incidents over something trivial, fighting over a parking spot, butting heads in line at a grocery store, demanding our Starbucks coffee be perfect instead of being forgiving of the 18-year-old kid making our drink.
Yeah.
Society needs more kindness and others who put people first.
We certainly need a whole lot more kindness in this world. So, you're probably thinking, hey, I tuned into this because I thought this channel was about planning for retirement. And it is. But for us, we decided there are plenty of real experts out there on YouTube talking about finances, retirement in that sense. But we want to talk about the processing of retirement and having a meaningful retirement today. And a lot of times that means you may not be first in the world's view of that saying. You know, after 25 years in police work, I got used to hearing the phrase, "you were first on the scene." Lots of times, police officers, all of public safety, race to be first on the scene. Being first has responsibilities. Being first means that you can be counted on. Being first means that when things are falling apart, you're expected to show up and you're expected to handle things. And honestly, our conversation tonight over dinner, we decided that we wanted to show up big in retirement, maybe a little wiser, kinder, more faithful, more purpose driven.
Mm-hmm.
And after our Colorado trip and some of the hikes we took,
Ooh.
we realized we need to show up a whole lot more healthier.
But now that we're in this season of life, this pre retirement stage, we've realized that being first still matters. It just looks different.
It looks very different. Now it means being the first to help a neighbor before they even have to ask. That means if you have some elderly neighbors next door and it's pouring cats and dogs and you see they just came back from the grocery store, you got to grab that umbrella and you got to run across the street and you got to help them bring their groceries in.
Yep.
That is what we're talking about here. Just being the first to see a need and being the first to fill it.
Or the first to grab someone's luggage when you see them struggling in the airport.
Amen to that. So I've told April my luggage story, and I'm going to tell it real quick. I fly over the summer just about weekly down to South Carolina to see April and the rest of the family. And on my flights, there's a lot of elderly people. They all sit towards the front of the plane. I'm usually in row 9 or 10, and I have become their luggage carrier. I help them put their luggage in the overhead bins. And then when the plane lands, you know how everybody stands up as soon as the plane lands? You hear the
Oh,
seat
yeah.
belts unclick and everybody stands up. Well, these little old man, little old lady, they all do that. And they all turn and they look at me and they start pointing at which suitcases are theirs. And I take all their suitcases down. We joke about how it's $1 a bag. Of course, I never charge them, but we have a good time with it. But I saw the need, and I know that at some point I'm going to be needy of somebody helping me out with that. But you know what being first is also? It's the first to call a friend and genuinely ask them how they're doing, let them know you are thinking about them, letting them know that they matter.
Or the first to congratulate someone genuinely who just got promoted or reach out to someone who just lost their job.
Yeah, lots of that going on right now
Mhm.
with federal workers. Sometimes it just means being the first to forgive, and this is something that we're struggling with.
That's a tough one. Yet we are doing it anyway. And that will have to be another episode because there is a lot to unpack with that. But being first doesn't always feel comfortable, it just feels right.
It does. It feels good. After years of running towards emergencies, you learn that helping people, it doesn't always require a uniform, a police car, a siren. It really just requires a real heart to serve. That's something that is, throughout public safety, but it's something that we want to transfer over into retirement.
Retirement isn't about slowing down, it's about noticing more.
It's about noticing who needs a helping hand, who needs that phone call, or as simple as who needs a smile.
Or changing a tire.
Changing a tire.
Being first now isn't about being in charge, it's about being available.
Yeah. No badge, no rank, no title, just showing up first. And in some ways, that's who you and I have always been.
We try.
We try.
So here's our challenge for you this week.
Be first at something that totally doesn't benefit you. It might even be a little uncomfortable for you. Take yourself out of the comfort zone. Introduce yourself to someone. Be kind to someone that you see at the deli at the grocery store. We all have a little bit of a gift where we can see people struggling, and sometimes you never know where people are in life, and just a kind word or a genuine compliment that can just make the difference in somebody's day.
It really can. Be the first one to send a text when you hear some good news or bad news. First to help a neighbor, first to hold the door for someone,
Yeah,
even a guy.
even a guy. Yeah, just be the first to encourage someone who needs it. Because when you put others first, you don't lose anything, you gain purpose.
And that's what Retirement Unmasked is all about. Real life, real purpose, real heart.
So this week, who are you going to show up for first? Please drop us a comment. And heck, if this touched you at all, give us a like, subscribe. We could use some more subscribers. And join our community and share your story with us.
We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, everyone. As always, here's to a week filled with new adventures,
Yep.
cherished memories, and boundless joy.
And thanks for watching.